Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Aqueduct Racetrack here on Saturday. It is the 7th of October, 2023. Go and look at the stakes races on the program from Belmont, the Big A. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKit5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. We have quite a few stakes races to look at. Races 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9. But as a continuation of this Belmont, the Big A meeting, we're gonna get some rain. It seems like it's rained almost every single weekend. The first weekend it didn't. Second weekend it rained. Canceled Saturday's card. Last Saturday they canceled. Today we're gonna get about a half inch of rain. So it's gonna be wet conditions again today. And looking at the early forecast for next Saturday, more rain. So it's, we just can't get a break. But perfect midweek. If Aqueduct could ever go to like a Tuesday to run Tuesdays and Wednesdays again, or I don't think they ever ran Tuesdays, but if they could run Wednesdays again, that'll be good because the weather's been great. But the weekend weather has just been really shitty here in the city. But let's get to the stakes action. Like I said, races 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9. The third race actually begins a pick 4, so we'll play it here. Third race, it's the Waya Stakes. It's a grade 3 event going for a purse of $200,000. Race fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 8 horses entered. 7 and 8 are both MTOs, so 6 will head to the inner turf course. The distance of ground at 2,200 meters, or mile 3/8 on the inner turf course. Portable rails are down at 0 feet. So it's the first time all year they'll be down on this course for this meeting. Just looking over this field for the Waya, they flopped this race with the Flower Bowl at Saratoga. Dare I say, I think this is a better betting race, definitely, and a better race than the Flower Bowl was at Saratoga. Maybe does the Flower Bowl come back to Belmont in a few years? We'll have to wait and see. And the way go back up to Saratoga. But my top selection, I'm going to go with the 2-horse Ramanja Mia. I'm going to go 2, 3, 5, 6 in the superfecta. 2, 3, 5, 6 super. Top selection 2 was Ramanja Mia. 4-year filly by Master Craftsman. Grand Motion trains, and Manny Franco gets the mount. The horse's most recent appearance came at Colonial, a mile 3/16 in the Beverly D Stakes, and the horse finished third by 5 1/4 lengths. First off, the first star on the stateside at a very hot track. The horse just didn't really do wonders. He finished third by 5 1/4 lengths and just kind of stuck and was a little bit flat that day. Coming to a turf course that should have a little give in it, going to a longer trip, staying forwardly pace, I think this horse is going to be a better spot to win second start stateside. Two back, he ran in a listed race, a Shuntee, a mile 5/16, 10th of July. He finished fourth by 1 3/4 lengths that day, and he settled well that day. He never had the really good turn of foot. I think just slightly clashed her horses, got his horse late, but she did run her heart out there. And then against two tough competition in the Group 2 Pre-Corrida at St. Cloud, he finished 6th by 10 1/4 lengths that day and just kind of stuck and completely crumbled. It wasn't the day to win. This horse hasn't seen the winner's circle since the 30th of October that came at Campanelle in Italy. A mile and a quarter in the Group 2 Premio Lydia Tessio Stakes. She won by a neck that day and really took off clear. But so far this season, they started the horse in Doha in Qatar, where the horse just ran a horrible race against the boys. Came back to run at Longchamp in late April, where the horse just didn't really show up. Came back to run the pre-career against tough horses. Has just been facing tough horses in France. Coming here back to soft ground because it's a little closer. I think this horse getting tripped to win. I'll use him. I think the 3-horse Parnack for Dylan Davis and Christophe Clement can win. Most recently in the Flower Bowl of the mile 3/8 at Saratoga, he won by 1 3/4 lengths that there, 1 1/4 lengths, and basically on the front and all throughout. They walked the dog 118-4. It wasn't a pedestrian pace. It was a geriatric pace. That's how slow they're going. My grandmother could run faster than this horse, but basically on the front and all throughout, she really ran a terrific race, and Nicola couldn't close into that pace. Coming to soft turf today, this horse, ran 2 back in the Dick Memorial on soft turf at Delaware and had a decent third place finish. If they're going to try walking again on the front end, but I don't think they'll let Dylan get away with this one. But he has a ability to win here. 5-1, I'll use his horse, and you have to give kudos to the 5-horse McCulloch. Was a placer in the Flower Bowl, beat War Like God is Home in the Glens Falls over the mile and a half, and then in the New York Stakes just had a little bit too much ground to gain that day, but she ran her heart out that day. She's definitely been improving with every single race this season. She could definitely win. Let's use her in this pick for it. So to recount my selection for third from Aqueduct, it is the Waya. I'm going to take the 2-horse Romanja Mia. Give kudos to the 3-horse Parnack and the 5-horse McCulloch. 2, 3, 5, 6 super. 2, 3, 5 in your multi-race. The where are we? The fourth race now from Aqueduct. It is the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic. It's a Grade 1 event going for a $500,000 purse race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 8 horses going to the outer turf course. The distance of ground of 2,400 meters or a mile and a half on the Aqueduct outer turf course. This will be the first time since they put in the new outer turf course here in Aqueduct that they're running this mile and a half trip. And it made me think, when was the last time they actually ran a mile and a half on the old inner dirt course that, which was the previous course that was the outer turf course, or that is the outer turf course today. So I had to go back and I had to look a while. The last mile and a half race at Aqueduct on dirt, you have to go back to 2013, to January 2013. I think I saved it here somewhere. 1 second. It was the 12th of January of 2013. That was the last time we ran a mile and a half here at Aqueduct on the dirt, on the inner dirt course. So it's the same course, but you have that very quick run to the first turn. So I think you need good position. With that being said, I'm taking a horse that has a wide poster here. That's going to be 7-horse Stone Age. I'm going to go 7-2-4-5 in the superfecta. 7-2-4-5 super top selection 7-horse Stone Age. It's 4 called by Galileo. Chad Brown trains. Ira Tees Jr. gets the mounts. Most recently at Saratoga, a mile and a half on a yielding inner turf course in the Grade 1 Sword Dancer. The horse finished 5th by 11.5 lengths that day. It was the horse's first off the long refreshing. He stalked from wide postura, but never quickened up. Bolshoi Ballet, who was really improving going into the Sword Dancer, really took off clear to win for O'Brien. This horse just wasn't getting into him that day. Refreshing here, second off the bench. Not the world's toughest race, could definitely handle some given the ground. I think this horse is going to be in a better spot to win and find the winner circle. If you look at some of the races the horse has been running against, the horses in the races he's been running against some tough horses. He ran at Doha in February in a local Group 1 where he finished 12th by 12.5 lengths, never getting a good trip, completely hitting the wall. Before that, he ran the Group 1 Hong Kong Vase at Sha Tin where he finished 5th by 3.75 lengths that day. He needed a bit of more of a pace to win that day, but he ran his heart out there, and then he had a massive place in the Breeze Cup Turf last year, 12.5 1 behind Rebels Romance, who's actually running back in this one today. This horse just couldn't get there late, but he ran his heart out with a 103 buyer. It was also, he had quite a few races on last fall. Ran a few weeks prior in the Champion Stakes where he just never really got going. Never really ran in the Irish Champions, and then they ran in the Saratoga Derby where he couldn't catch Nation's Pride and Annapolis. Both those winners, both those first and second place finishers were both next start winners. So, he finally found a race last time, in the British Cup Turf where he really ran that good race. He is stepping in on class from some of his races. He's proven he can run these decent races stateside. At 5-1, I'm going to use him. You can't throw out the 2-horse Warlike Goddess. She did win this race nearly a year ago on a very boggy course. It was rated good. It was a softer side of good, and she won by 2 3/4 length, coming home with a career best 105 bar. After that, she ran a decent third in the Breeze Cup Turf. She was the best of the Americans that day in that race, in a very weak Breeze Cup Turf. Just to keep an eye on it. This year's Breeze Cup Turf, if all the horses from Europe are going to come to this year's Breeze Cup Turf, like they say, this might be one of the best Breeze Cup Turf for the European contingency, and the Americans should just stay in the barn because, the American turf, division has just been very subpar the last few years. I think the last decent horse we had in this division was Bricks and Mortar. Even before then, it's been it's been a head scratcher of a division. But the Europeans definitely have the edge. But Warlike Goddess, she's probably our best turf horse over this mile and a half trip. She loves it. 2 back in the Glens Falls, they should have let her go. She was very rank. Changing the Rosario to Alvarado, which I don't think has happened. I think this horse needs a different booking. I'll give her a shot here. She is training well since the last race, but to recount my selection for the fourth from Aqueduct, it is the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic. Gonna take the 7-horse Stone Age. Give kudos to the 2-horse Warlike Goddess. 7-2-4-5 super 7-2 in your multi-race. The 5th event now from Aqueduct. It is the Frizette Stakes. It's a Grade 1 event going for a $400,000 purse race for 2-year-old fillies. 6 horses are going 1,600 meters or the mile trip here in the Frizette. I'm going to go with the 5-horse, just FYI. 5-6-2-1 in the superfecta. 5-6-2-1 super. Top selection of 5-horse, just FYI. 2-year-old filly by Justify. Belmont trains. Junior Alvarado gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 26th of August, Saratoga. 6 furlongs in the main special weight for $105,000, and the horse won by a head that day and was stupidly wide throughout, but he settled well towards mid-pack. He slowly moves his way up, and he went away with it. A very good run, coming here second off the bench, to a longer trip Belmont has decent numbers with these horses. I think this horse can improve a lot to get the job done here today. Definitely been training well since the last race. And, she's bred for the trip. It's justified by a streak cry sire. I think this horse wants to go a little bit longer. But coming here today, off of a decent main victor, I'm going to give this horse a shot on the ticket. I think the 6 horse Emery could win also for Manny Franco and Brad Cox was cross-entered yesterday with the Keeneland race, but I believe he's running today. Most recently on the debut at Saratoga, going 6 in a main special at the end of August, the horse went by 5 1/4 lengths that day and really took off. Clear was a little bit wide, but when he had the turn of foot, he just kept coming. That was a very, very good race. Has been training quite well since the last race. 59.3 workout at Churchill. The third best workout, 33. Another horse, I'm going to give this horse a shot on the ticket. And also keep an eye on for the 2 horse Life Talk. If there's going to be a closer winning, it wouldn't surprise me, but with the amount of rain we're projected to get, the inside post row kind of scares me a little bit. I think you definitely want to be one on this wet track. But hopefully he gets good position. But if there's going to be a horse gaining ground, it could be her. She won over the Wilson Mile quite nicely by 6 1/4 lengths. Quite a few horses weren't handling the mile trip early on in the season, but this horse still ran decently, has been training well. I'll give this horse a shot to win here today, but I do prefer the other 2 before her. And if she doesn't win today, she's a kind of horse. She probably, if she doesn't win here today, I would bet her in the Tempton in a few weeks' time, or the Demoiselle in a few weeks' time, because she could definitely win there. But keep an eye on her. But to recount my selection for the 5th from Aqueduct, it is the Frizette. Gotta take the 5 horse, just FYI. 5-6-2-1 Super, 5-6-2 in your multi-race. The 6th event from Aqueduct. It is the Belmont Turf Sprint. It's a grade 3 event going for a $200,000 purse race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 12 horses going to the outer turf course, the 1,200-meter journey, or 6 furlongs on the outer turf course. They could get a little bit more creative with these turf, the Belmont Turf Sprint. They can maybe, call it something else. I mean, the Disco Partner Turf Sprint, the Pure Sensation Turf Sprint, that sounds kind of cool. Or in a few years' time, the Thin White Duke Turf Sprint. But my top selection here, I'm going to go with the number 10 horse, Wit. I'm going to go 10-9-11-5 in the superfecta. 10-9-11-5 super, top selection, 10 horse, Wit. This 4-year-old colt by Practical Joke, top Fletcher trains. Florent Giroux gets on this one. Very interesting jockey booking, Florent and Todd. They are striking at 20% in a very short offering in the last year and a half. But this horse's most recent outing came 4th September off the long refreshing at Saratoga, mile 16th at Bernard Baruch, and he finished 5th by 4 1/4 lengths that day. And he just never got going. He just needed the race off the bench. Coming here, cutting back in trip. If the track was a little bit, what do you call that? If the track was a little bit dry, or you could sit a little bit back early and then have that one run late. But with a soft track, this horse does have some speed. If they could send him from the gate with the soft going, I think that's going to be his best chance to win. And I think he has the stamina to win here, second off the bench. He definitely has quick enough, buyers to win cutting back in trip. 2 back, they ran him the Pegasus World Cup turf at Goldstrom with the Monmouth in January, where he finished 8th by 3 1/2 lengths that day. And from the rail, he was sent to get good position, but then he just completely crumbled in that all-out finish. It wasn't his day to win. And then prior to that, in the Hollywood Derby over the mile and 8th, he finished 3rd by 3/4 length that day, and he really was gaining well late. He ran his heart out over that trip, and then the Byron Station over the mile, Keeneland off the bench. He finished 2nd by a neck. He had the lead. He got caught late. What can you do? He just maybe wasn't 100% cranked that day. Since coming to the green stuff, his buyers have definitely jumped up a lot, and he's become a better horse. He's training well. Second off, you should see a lot better horse. I'm going to use him here. You can't throw out the 9 horse Thin White Duke. I always say I am the president of the Thin White Duke fan club for this horse, because it seems like I always bet this horse. I definitely bet him here in April in that allowance race where he lost. I know I'd bet him in the Elusive Quality where he lost. I don't think I'd bet him in the Jaipur. Bet him on July 4th. Bet him at Saratoga. I didn't have him last time out, but he's a cool horse. He made 4 starts this summer at Saratoga, probably the most out of anybody. He finally won the Harvey Pack last time out. Before that, he was getting closer with some decent buyers. He likes this turf course, 5-2 on it. Give him a shot here. He could definitely win. Even the 11 horse here, Dancing Buck for Kendrick Harmouche. Set the pace in the Harvey Pack, but then completely crumbled. First off the bench, he probably needed the race. Prior to that, he ran the Aqueduct Turf Championship at the end of November here, 25th, actually my birthday, and he finished 6 by 3 lengths, completely crumbling. But throughout that race, the late November turf courses here in New York can be very weird at times. So, the winner, I believe, nothing better, was running back in this one today. He was a 10-1 shot. So, if I'm not mistaken, quite a few of races on that turf course in the year gave up a lot of good prices. But, this horse just wasn't handling it there. But came back to win this race on a bog last year by 5 lengths on the front end. That was a very good, strong run at 4.5-1. He's proven he can get a handle, soft going. He likes this course. He's going to have to become wide poster, but he can definitely win. I would use him on the pick 4 here. I am going to use him on the pick 4 that begins with the race 3, and this is going to end off that early, that mid-card pick 4. So let's use him there. But to recap my selection for the 6 from Belmont, the Big 8, the Belmont Turf Sprint. Going to take the 10 horse Wit. Give kudos to the 9 horse Thin White Duke and the 11 horse Dancing Buck. Or we 10-9, 11-5 Super, 10-9, 11 in your multi-race. 10-9, 11-1, 10-9, 11 in your multi-race. There we go. Can't speak. Pardon me. Let's get over to the featured 8th race now from Aqueduct, which is the Champagne Stakes. It's a Grade 1 event going for a $500,000 purse race for 2-year-olds here. Field of 8 horses going the distance of ground 1,600 meters or a mile here in the Champagne. My top selection, I'm going to go with the 4 horse General Partner. I'm going to go 4-6-3-7 in the superfecta. 4-6-3-7 Super, top selection 4 horse General Partner, 2-year-old Colt by Spicetown, Chad Brown trains. Manny Franco gets to mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 2nd of September at Saratoga. 7 furlongs in main special weight, 105,000, and he won by 4 lengths. And, he didn't get out of the gate so clearly, which is the thing with him. He's going to have to break out of the gate to get to that next level. If he does that, he can win going away. But he didn't get out of the gate so clearly, but with the longer distance, he had time to settle towards the front end, and then he, basically won it easily. 109 4 3/4. He quickened up nicely off of that and came home the 7 8 122 and 192 bar. That was one of the more impressive runs for 2-year-olds at Saratoga this summer. Refreshing here, back to a longer trip. Hopefully getting out of the gate clearly. I think this horse could get a good trip and win. Getting out of the gate clearly and me speaking clearly would be good. But 22nd of July was the previous race at Saratoga on the debut. 6 furlongs in the main special weight. And he finished 4th by 2 3/4 lengths that day. Again, he didn't get out of the gate so clearly. Got bumped out of it. He got quarter horse gate good position. But then he got to hit the wall late. He just wasn't getting there. He needed the race for the experience. Since the last run, he's trending quite nicely up at Saratoga on the Oklahoma. Half-mile workout last week in 50 flat, 12th best workout 51, and a half-mile the week prior in 48 flat, and the second best out of 79, half-mile in 48 and 4 right after the last race. So I think he's rearing to go, training well. Let's use him here. I think his second likeliest winner would be the 6 horse Frizette for Tom Pletcher and Ira Hughes Jr. Most recent on debut in late August, Saratoga going 6 furlongs in the mud. He won by 11 1/4 lengths that day, and he basically won in a trot. He won easily, 109-2, 95 buyer. That was impressive. Coming here, stakes quality horses. Winners for the first time. He is training well. I'm going to give this horse a shot here today, but it's not going to be as easy as it was last time out. He's going to have to, take on tougher competition. 6'5" is a little bit short, but off that debut victory, he looks like he could be the real deal. Let's use him here going into the Breeders' Cup. But to recap my selection for the 8th from Aqueduct, it is a Champagne. Gonna go take the 4 horse General Partner. Give kudos to the 6 horse 4-6-3-7 Super. 4-6 in your multi-race. The 9th event now from Aqueduct, almost at Saratoga, but the 9th race from Aqueduct, it is the Jockey Club Derby. It's a Grade 3 event going for a $500,000 purse race for 3-year-olds here. We have a field of 9 horses going 2,200 meters or a mile 3/8 on the Aqueduct Inner Turf course. This year they decreased the trip from a 1.5 miles to a mile and 3/8. I don't think it's half bad. And they moved the race from mid-September opening weekend at Aqueduct or to Belmont from mid-September to the second weekend of October, which I don't think is half bad. It kind of brings back a remembrance of the race we used to have here in New York called the Lawrence Realization Handicap that used to be run around this time over the 1.5 mile on the turf for 3-year-olds. So, it's a good nod to an old race. My top selection here, I'm going to take the 9 horse Mondego. I'm going to go 9-3-1-2 in the superfecta. 9-3-1-2 super. Top selection 9 horse Mondego. This 3-year-old Colt by Lupe de Vega. Christoph Command trains. Dylan Davis gets to mount. The horse's most recent outing came about a month ago on the 9th of September at Colonial, mile 8th in the Virginia Derby, and he finished 4th by 4 lengths that day, and he just kind of stalked. I never really got going. I think he'll do better with a slower pace, mile and 3/8. He's getting it today from wide poster. He'll probably get set to get good position, and it wouldn't surprise me if they try, walking the dog in this race like they did, like Dylan tried doing in the Flower Bowl with success. If he could do that again with this horse today, I think this horse could find the winner's circle. Two back in the Saratoga Derby over the very, very yielding ground, mile 3/16 at the Spa. He finished 7th by 10 lengths that day. Was very rambunctious in that all-out pouring rain before the race and during the race, which cost him. He just never quickened up there. And then the Belmont Derby at Belmont, a mile quarter, 8th of July. He finished 3rd by length. Farbridge ran a terrific race. This horse set the pace from wide post. He got caught late, but didn't go down without a fight. I thought he ran a terrific race there. And then the 2nd of June at Belmont, a mile 8th and off 6-2, winning by a neck that day against some tough horses. He was a little bit wide, but he really got the turn of foot to win. And then he broke the main opening weekend at Belmont quite nicely, winning by 2 1/4 lengths against older horses, which I thought was even better. He's definitely been improving with every single race. He's been crying out for the mile 3/8. He's going to get it today. Watch out for him. I think the 3-horse here, Web Slinger, could win for Mark Cassidy and Javier Castellano. Hasn't been seen since the Saratoga Derby, where he just finished 2nd by a head that day, and you just couldn't really keep up that day. The winner from France really took off clear. Prior to that, in the Belmont Derby, he just had a little bit too much ground to gain, but he ran his heart out, and then won the Abingdon at Churchill quite nicely in June. Another horse, I think he wants to go longer. He's going to get the trip. Watch out for him here. And you also have to use the one-horse measure time. His win on the July course, he had to use the line that day, but he got the job done. And then his races on the poly track have been, have been up to scratch. He hasn't been facing the world's toughest horses in the UK, but, he's proven he could get this trip. I would give him a shot here on the ticket. But to recount my selection for the night from Aqueduct now, it's the Jockey Club Derby. Going to take the 9-horse Mondego, 9-3-1-2 Super, 9-3-1 in your multi-race. So good luck to all, please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5. Good luck, everybody.